True friends love us when we're down, happy when we're up, right by our side when trials come. These words were taken from our original song, True Friends. And each one of us has at least one friend who can be considered a true friend. It could either be our parents, our spouse, our children, or even a friend of the congregation. But true friends have been around for thousands of years. An example of one person who had true friends was the Apostle Paul. In fact, he was inspired to write at Colossians 4:11 that his friends were a strengthening aid to him. Well, what the question arises, why would the Apostle Paul need a strengthening aid, and how did they prove to be one, and how can we apply it today? Well, I want to start off by saying how faithful the Apostle Paul was. In fact, he went through a lot of persecution, and some of what he went through is recorded at 2 Corinthians 11:24-27. And if you turn there in our Bible, it reads there. 5 times I received 40 strokes, less one from the Jews. 3 times I was beaten with rods. Once I was stoned. 3 times I experienced shipwreck. A night and a day I have spent in open sea. In journeys, often in dangers from rivers, in danger from robbers, in danger from my own people, in dangers from the nations, in dangers in the city, in dangers in the wilderness, in dangers at sea, in dangers among false brothers. Wow. Did you notice there that he was beaten 200 times? Although we will probably never go through that, but losing a loved one in death could be like being beaten 200 times. But something helped the Apostle Paul to get through this, and it was Jehovah's Holy Spirit. And that Holy Spirit didn't go anywhere. It can still help us to this very day. But some more examples about what all that the Apostle Paul went through is recorded at Acts 28:24-25. I won't read it, but it brings out there how when he first arrived at Rome, he wasn't welcomed very warmly. In fact, when people came to hear what he had to say, there was disagreement among them, and then all of them just dispersed. Could you imagine how much this pained Paul to see their lack of appreciation for spiritual things? Well, his emotions are recorded at Romans 9:2. And if we turn there in our Bibles, it reads, that I had great grief and unceasing pain in my heart. Wow, this really deeply hurt the Apostle Paul. But he still was not alone. He still had true friends that helped him, who helped to soothe his troubled heart. The name of those true friends were Tychicus, Onesimus, Aristarchus, Mark, and Barnabas. All of these brothers were called friends in both the eyes of the Apostle Paul and of Jehovah. Well, how they helped him was, for one thing, they did not use his prison bars as an excuse just to isolate him. In fact, at Ephesians 6:21-22, he brings out how Tychicus was a helping aid in the ministry. He helped to be a messenger to the Ephesian friends. Then at 2 Timothy 4:11-13, he brings out how Luke was used to be a helping aid in the ministry. They even made him clothes, scrolls, and materials to write. Then all these things that they did proved to help the advancement of the good news. Now that we went over his friends and how they're able to strengthen his faith, let's see how we can apply it today. While the Apostle Paul was a very strong man spiritually, he was even the only account of circuit overseer we have in the Bible. His friends did not use that as an excuse when they saw that he was down. They say, he'll get back up, he'll be alright. No, when they saw that he was hurt, they were able to help him. And how we can apply that today is when we see the pillars of the congregation, like the elders, pioneers, and older ones, who seem to be hurt. We don't want to use the past course of faithfulness as an excuse to leave them on the floor when they seem that they're hurting. But personally, in our congregation, we have had the death of a lot of dear ones. And now's the time to prove to be a brother who was born for a time of distress. And to never underestimate the power of just giving them a hug or just a call on the phone. And if we continue to do this, then we'll continue to have an interchange of encouragement as recorded at Hebrews 1:11-12. And then we will be like the Apostle Paul's friends and be right by our brother's side when trials come.